What we're going to do today is finish problem number 3, and then we are going to go over the stuff I assigned for homework. And then hopefully we have time. I'm going to do another one that's in the book. And then questions, and on we go. All right, so let's get back to our file here. Okay, so this is what we were doing the other day. We did this for the rooms part, and now we're going to do the food part. So basically what we had to do was determine the number of rooms based on rooms occupancy, and it was April, so it was 30 days. So they expect to sell 2,100 rooms. These were the prices of the rooms. And then these were the percentages. They gave us these two, and we know it has to equal 1 or 100. So we knew that the suites had to be 20%. This was just taking these percentages by the 2,100. And then I just added them to make sure that we covered all of our rooms. And then we're looking for sales. So you're taking your sale price times your rooms to get your sales. Questions on that? All right, and let's go to the restaurant. And so in the restaurant, coffee shop, we have 3 meals a day. They gave us the turnover for each and the average check. And there are 50 seats. So when we're doing restaurant, we're talking turnover. So let's get our checks in here. So we have breakfast and lunch and dinner. And the price for breakfast was $7.50. Lunch was $10.50. And dinner was $13.50. And then we had our turnover. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is figure out the number of seats for each meal. I'm going to break it down in steps. So let's figure out the number of meals that we would serve based on the turnover. So if we have 50 seats, to find the number of meals, what am I going to do? How would I find the number of meals?
Number of seats in the restaurant times turnover.
Okay, so all we're going to do is take this times this, and that's going to give us the number of meals for each of the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so that's per one day. There are 30 days in April. So now we would take that and multiply by the 30 days. And it's 30 days because it's April. Wait a minute, something didn't come up here, right? $60. Hold on a second, something is not right in my formulas. Because that's going to give us a huge number of meals. Yeah, there's no way that's right. All right. So when I did this, I just did it as one. I didn't do all these stops. So let's see here.
The second and the third one are wrong, so second one should be 2,700,
So
assuming I did it
what
correct.
This right here. Oh, I know why. It's my formula. Okay. All right, so this is the number of breakfast, lunch, and dinners that we're going to serve. And so then what we need to do is figure out the sales. So if this is the number of meals, this is the price per meal, we should be able to figure out what the sales are going to be. So obviously lunch is their sweet spot. So total lunch revenue will be 54,000. You don't have to break it down like this. You can just do one across, which is actually honestly the way that I did it. But this I just wanted to show you. So this is given to you. This is figuring out the number of meals by taking the seats times the turnover. This is taking the seats times 30 days because it's April. And then this is taking your meals times your price, and that's giving you your sales. So we have rooms. Sales are equal to this. And the food is equal to this. Okay, but then they tell you that that is 95% of the total revenue. I tell you that other revenue is 5%. So we get to do algebra. Okay, so that's your total that you have. And that total is equal to 95% of sales. And then it just becomes an algebra problem where you're going to end up dividing this by 0.95. So that is your total sales. So to find your other sales, would simply be your total minus the food and rooms. So that would be your other sales. Okay. Questions? Okay.
No, you're good.
All right. That's what I want to hear. Just glad to hear something. All right. So let's go to number 5. And number 5 was as easy as you thought it would be. And I'm just going to put the numbers in here real quick. So with these, all you're doing is the moving average, which is basically just taking an average. And you're doing it based on 2 different rotations. Should have done this before. So you're doing it based on a 5-week, and then you're doing it based on a 3-week average. And that's really all you're doing is an average. It's taking me longer to type in the numbers than it'll take us to do the solution. What happened there? Let me get up there. Okay. So your first thing was to just do a 5-week average. And that's all you're doing. So with the 5-week average, you're going to use all of, oh, this thing drives me crazy. So we're going to do a 5-week the first time. Okay, what did I type in there wrong? L through
Week 5 is 440 on
Week-
Monday.
Week 5 is 440. Thank you. All right, that looks a little better. And I kind of just use a rule of thumb that I would round up no matter what was on the right side of the decimal, so that you don't shortchange your numbers. So the second piece was to do a 3-week. And if you're doing this, you would do the last 3 weeks. Because you want the most recent data. And just make sure I got that right. I want NOP. Yep. Okay, is everybody okay with those numbers? It's a little bit off what I had before. Let me do this again. I think it might have picked up my answer.
You included the
Yeah.
average.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. There we go. All right, so let me just go get rid of those decimals. All right, so moving average is simply that, moving average. All right, questions on that? Okay, number 8. Okay, number 8. So we want to do the weekly sales. And this kind of follows with problem 7. Takes into account the weather. Okay. So let me copy numbers again real quick. So with this one, we're going to have to do a couple steps. We're going to start with the average. And then we're going to make adjustments for weather. And so this is a school. And so in nicer weather, people go off campus if they're allowed. And if it's a rainy day, they have a tendency to stay in. So if you look at this and look at your numbers, this obviously was a rainy day because of your sales. So if you have a rainy day, you're going to modify it by $20 or $70. And then if the prior week had a rainy day, so if the prior week had a rainy day, we have to adjust that so that our numbers come out right. The other thing we're going to do, because the weather is changing, once we get the average, we have to add 20 to it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we're going to average those. Okay, we're gonna average those. And then we have to go back and say, okay, so we average those, but we have to make an adjustment for this Wednesday. And so what we have to do for that Wednesday is that we have to use 450 instead of the 520. So that changes our average number. Then it asks us to modify because the weather's getting colder. We're going to add 20. To every day. And then it also tells us that Monday is supposed to be a rainy day. So if it's a rainy day, we also have to add $70 because more people are going to eat in. I think once I do this, there we go. I'm gonna do this.
So the 7-day is on top of the 20 or
Yes.
in lieu of the 20?
On top of.
Okay.
The weather's getting colder,
That's where
so
I
we're
messed
adding
up,
20.
yeah.
And then because it's going to be a rainy day, it's an additional. And so again, if I was doing this, I would just round up. Okay. So that one is just really a matter of just following through the steps. And I'm sure that they use something like that for lunch. I mean, I don't know that if you're doing this at a school, I don't know if kids are allowed off campus. I don't think they are here anymore. Even pre-COVID. All right, so that was number 8. This was number 5. And then I also asked you to do 13. And this was just to practice the 2 steps that you can have. So this one, you had your rooms for July, August, and September. And we had 2480. All right. So those were our rooms. So we got $100 rooms. These are the number of rooms that we predict based on the information that we had. So that's our ADR. Okay. So they think that the ADR is going to increase by 2%. So what we're going to do is we're going to take each of those and multiply it by 2%. Okay. Once we get that 2%, we want to find the room revenue. And they give us the room revenue, the room price. Classy Motel. And then what we're trying to do is find the room sales. So all you're doing is taking this and you're multiplying by this. And so our total would be those. Okay, that one is pretty simple.
Is this another one where you always assume to round up?
Yeah. Well, this one you're in, yes, here, yes. I would round up.
For a
here.
number of units, okay.
Yeah.
Because I have a slightly different number because I rounded.
Yep. And then here it would be dollars and cents.
Yeah, it's just my numbers are slightly different because I use 2530 times 75, so I get 189,750.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So then, let me see. I gave you 16 and I gave you 25. Oh, what time is it? Okay, we got lots of time. So I want to just trying to figure out which one I want to do here. I'm going to show you the first row on problem 16 before we leave. So I want to make sure that I do that. So let's work on another one that's a little complicated. And this is problem number 9. So you have guest rooms, you have dining room seats, we have the occupancy percentages. So paid occupancy is 80, double occupancy is 60. Average daily rate, our ADR is 120. The double rooms are single plus 20. Got occupancy, single, double. And we have breakfast sales, single, double, and lunch and dinner. And then we have our average food checks. So first thing we're going to do is come up with room sales. And in order to do that, we have to figure out what the individual room prices are. We know that the ADR, and this is a pretty complicated problem. I promise I won't put one like this on your test, but I think you need to know it. So the ADR is equal to 120. So that 120 is equal to, and now we have to split it between our singles and doubles. And we did this a little bit with our last chapter, revenue management. So percentage-wise, single rooms, well, if doubles were 60%, that means that singles are 40%. So 40%, and I'm going to put an X in there. This is supposed to be an equals. So the ADR is 40% singles. And then we have 60% doubles. but the double price was the single price plus $20. Okay, and then it just becomes an algebra problem. So you're going to distribute the 60. Okay, put your X's together. Get your numbers together. So single rooms would be 108 and doubles would be the X plus 20. So would equal 128. Say we did a little bit of that when we were doing revenue management. So single rooms are 108, double rooms are 128. And so now we can figure out our sales. We're doing this for April. So again, we have 30 days. We have 100 rooms. Occupancy percentage was 80%. And now we can just put this into a formula. So, hold on, let me get down here. So single rooms. So we know what the price is, right? Price is 108. We know that there's 100 rooms. Times 30 days. And we know that the occupancy percentage is 80. So we have the price. We have the days. We have the occupancy percentage. And then because we're doing single and double, we also have to put in the percentage of single rooms, which was 40. And that's how we would find our sales, room sales for the singles. So it's your price. This is the number of rooms, number of days. This is the occupancy. So we're not selling 100 a day. We're only selling 80. And of those 80, 40% of those are single. So 32 rooms would be single. And so we would just do that. I don't know if it's going to do it or not. We'll see. So that would give us our single rooms. And we basically would do the same thing for double. Except we're going to change it's going to be 128. The 100 stays the same. The 30 stays the same. The 80 stays the same. But the percentage is going to be 60. So that's our double price and our double percent. That's the only thing that changed. So we can use that to figure out the double rooms. So that's our room revenue. Okay. Then we have to go do our food. And so we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we had 80 room or 80 seats. Okay, we have 80 seats. And so we're going to have to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have, let's see, $8.95. And so that's breakfast. And we have lunch of $12.50. Dinner is $16.95. Okay, so there's our prices. Okay, so single people, single rooms, 40% of them eat breakfast. Okay, 40% of them eat breakfast. So if we had we got to figure out the number of rooms that we sold. So let's go figure that out up here. By just doing it this way, we didn't actually come up with that number. So we know that so single rooms, we have 100 rooms with an occupancy of 80%. Times 30 days. And then single rooms were 40%. So that gave us our single rooms. And double rooms were exactly the same, except they were 60%. So I can just do it this way. And so that was our double rooms. So now we can go down here. Breakfast, we're going to need 2 lines because, all right, so of the rooms, sold, okay, 40% of those Okay, 40% of those were the single rooms. So that's only one person, right? One person per single room. So we're going to multiply by people. So I'm going to put it in there. So one person times the 895. All right, let's just leave that. So this is what we would do to find the number of people. We'll do it this way so that you can see. So that's the number of people. And then to find the sales, we would take this times this. And that would give us our breakfast sales for single. So we're going to use this again. But now we have the double rooms. And 80% of them are going to eat. And there's 2.2 people. Okay, we'll use that to find the number of people. And then what we could do is take the number of people, multiply it by the 895. So breakfast is a little complicated because we had to split the singles and the doubles. Lunch. Okay, with lunch, we're gonna just do our lunch seat turnover. So breakfast was based on percentage of people. Lunch turnover is just gonna be based on turnover. So we have 80 seats. Turnover for lunch is 1.3. For 30 days. Okay, that'll give us our people or meals. What am I doing? Oh, okay, I gotta hurry. So I need to show you that one thing. Get out of there. And then we're gonna multiply that. To get our lunch. And dinner is gonna be a similar type thing. Except our turnover for dinner is 0.8. So then our total sales. So that's our lunch sales. And then if we wanted to, well, that's all it's asking. It's not even asking. So those are your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See, I mean, and that's a really good example. It pulls together the ADR stuff that we did last chapter and brings in your ratios with your occupancy percentages, kind of pulls everything together. All right, I want to go to number 16, which is your homework assignment. And I want to show you Sunday. And make sure you complete it. For some reason, people think if I show you Sunday, you don't have to do anything more. Okay, so these are non-group, these three. And these are your group. Okay, so the group is some kind of a conference, whatever. You know these people are going to eat. Okay, we're using the room sold to figure out the number of people that are going to eat. That's our goal. These are from the last 3 weeks. Okay, so these were the last 3 weeks. And then this is the group reservations that we have. So it's 2 steps. The first thing you're going to do is the moving average. But when you do the moving average, it's only the non-groups. You know you have the 215. So you're going to do the average of the non-groups. Okay, that is the average of the non-groups. Your second step is to take that number and increase it by 2%. So you're combining 2 methods. So now you're going to take this number and you're going to multiply it by 1.02. Okay, and I just kind of, again, round up. So that would be your non-group. And then to get the total, you would add the non-group plus the group. And that would be your meals. Okay? So when you're doing the average, only the non-group, then it says bump it up. 1.2%, 1.02%. That is your new. Let me just stick this in here. So that's your average times 1.02. So it's 2 steps. It's 2 steps. All right, and that's number 16. So 16 is to do and 25 is also to do. Any questions? Questions about
What
homework?
page
Questions?
is it?
What's that?
What page is it?
472, 473. And what's the second one? 25 is the second one. 25 is on 478.
72, 478, and it's number 1225
I didn't
or
hear you,
16
Taylor.
and 25. What were
Oh,
the numbers?
16 and
16 and 25.
25. Now, let me tell you something about 25. What is the rule with leap year?
There's an extra day
It's an extra
in
day.
February.
Okay, so the information they're giving you is a leap year. So they're giving you information for 2000 X4 and you're doing it for 2000 X5. So all I'm just saying is watch your dates when you go to 2000 X5. All right. Have a good day. Good luck on your test on Friday. I will get your homework graded in the morning, so you have that.
Go on.
And I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your week.
You too.